Next on WoodSongs, 4 decades ago they formed as a jug band. They played West Coast music stores to begin their careers and then had one of the biggest hits in modern music. It's an entire hour with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Ragged shirt and baggy pants. He did the old soft shoe. He jumped so high, jumped so high.
The television broadcast of the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour is made possible in part by Kentucky Proud and the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, supporting Kentucky-grown farm products used worldwide and in your hometown. Acoustic Rainbow, introducing songs from independent artists and small labels to over 1,200 acoustic format radio stations worldwide. Online at acousticrainbow.com. Support is also provided by viewers like you. Information on how to become a WoodSongs partner and support the growth of grassroots music is online at woodsongs.com. And by Insight Communications, providers of cable, high-definition television and broadband internet service.
Here on the Louisiana Hayride, his name is Hank Williams, the dressing cowboy.
On the Grand Ole Opry, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys.
Hi, this is Bruce Horns. Hi, this is Kevin Moe.
Hey folks, this is Bela Fleck.
Hi folks, this is Sam Bush.
Hello, this is Odetta.
This is Joan Baez, and you're listening to the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
And now, gather the family around and sit back in your easy chair. It's time again for the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour, our worldwide celebration of grassroots music. Let's welcome folk singer, author, and tree hugger, Michael Jonathan.
Come, ye masters of war, you that build all the guns, you that build the death planes and build the big bombs, you that hide behind walls and hide behind desks. I just want you to know I can see through your mask. You that never done nothing but build to destroy. You play with my world like it's your little toy. You put a gun in my hand and you hide from my eyes. And you turn and run farther like fast bullets fly. Well, you've thrown the worst fear that could ever be hurled. It's the fear to bring children into the world. You threaten my baby, unborn and unnamed, and you ain't worth the blood that runs through your veins. Just like Judas of old, you lie and you deceive. This holy war can be won. You want me to believe, but I see through your eyes and I see through your brain, like I see through this water that runs down my drain. Hope that you die that your death comes soon. I'll follow your casket in the pale afternoon, and I'll watch while you're lowered into your deathbed, and I'll stand by your grave till I'm sure that you're dead.
And welcome to the historic Kentucky Theater. Here we are in our hometown of Lexington, Kentucky. We are at the crossroads of America's folk and bluegrass music, the gateway city to the beautiful, majestic, wonderful Appalachian Mountains. So much art and music comes from this area. It's an honor to be able to do our show from Lexington, from the stage of the Kentucky Theater. We celebrate independent and grassroots music of all kinds, whether it's folk and blues, bluegrass, country, Celtic, old-timey, traditional, new singer-songwriters. We celebrate this beautiful, wonderful diamond of grassroots music. We view it globally. We think that every single facet of that diamond is precious. If you ignore any single one, you've really decimated the value of this gem of a music form. And so we celebrate it all. WoodSongs is the ultimate genre-free zone. You don't have to be famous to be on our broadcast. You just have to be very, very good, and that is certainly the case of the artists that we're devoting this entire hour to. They have achieved global fame, Grammy Awards, CMA Awards. They're one of the most awarded and respected of all the roots music bands in the history of popular music. They have a brand new album out that we're going to get to as our show goes on, but they're going to dip down into one of their classic albums called Will the Circle Be Unbroken, Volume 1. This is a song called My Walking Shoes. Please welcome the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Thank you.
My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Stay on this side of town, honey, I won't be around. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Well, it's a long way from here to over yonder. My feet, they're getting mighty sore. I ain't coming back, you set my mind to wander. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Stay on your side of town, honey, I won't be around. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Come on, Jimmy. Jimmie Fadden on the harmonica. I'll be a long time gone from you, baby. You'll never hear me knocking on your door. Thought you was worth it once, but I was crazy. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Stay on your side of town, honey, I won't be around. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Come on, John. Shoes don't fit me anymore. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore. Stay on your side of town, honey, I won't be around. My walking shoes don't fit me anymore.
That's acoustic party music. Walking Shoes, Jimmy Martin tune, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Let's say hi to Jeff Hanna, founding member, lead singer, guitarist extraordinaire. Jeff, thank you very much for being with the band, coming on the show. It's nice to have you guys here. We've been waiting for you for a while.
It's great to be here, Michael. We love Kentucky, so this is not a hard
Kentucky
thing.
loves you. Jeff, around mid-1960s, you're one of the founding members of Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. It was an old-timey jug band when it started.
Yeah, that was it. We were looking for a way to avoid a real job, and so we started playing jug band music. We were all hanging out at this little guitar shop in Los Angeles called McCabe's. That's
still
right.
out there, still selling good instruments and putting on good shows out there.
Yep, that's right.
So just a little music store, and that's where you got started.
Yep.
You get started. And one of the original members of your lineup was Jackson Browne.
That's true.
So a lot of folks don't realize that you guys have a pretty hefty lineup history there.
Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. He kind of just fell off the map, didn't he? So now the band gets put together, and you got how did the record deal get started? How did Nitty Gritty Dirt Band as a jug band get a record deal?
Well, John's brother Bill, actually, who was our manager at the time, got us a record deal with Liberty Records, and we dove right in and started recording music. Our first single went to #1 in Southern California, which is where we lived at the time. So we thought, oh, this is easy. Our second single didn't ever make the charts, so
the reality started setting in.
Reality sunk right in, yeah.
Well, and then along comes this tall, lanky mandolin banjo player guy named John McEuen.
My people.
Yeah. So, John, you are hanging out, and how did your entrance into the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band happen?
Well, I had a band called Wilmore City Moonshiners with a guy named Les Thompson, and we broke up, and he moved into the nascent Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and that summer, so did I. And around noon, 12 o'clock, I guess you know that. In Garden Grove, California, I think we solidified it, and went out and started doing stuff. It was really weird to have a hit. We've been together, like Jeff said. I mean, it was only 6.5, 7 months. Mm-hmm. We got on the radio and nobody could talk to us for about a week. And then reality set in.
Fame lasted about a week. Well, it was about a year after your record deal that you released this Jeff Walker song called Mr. Bojangles.
Jeff, yeah. But
and I want the audience stay tuned because you guys are going to play the song for everybody at the end of the broadcast.
In a while, yeah. Actually, what happened there is several years later, it was on album number 5, an album called Uncle Charlie and His Dog Teddy. And when we were getting ready for that, Jeff came into a rehearsal and said, I heard this song on the radio last night. Well, he didn't talk like that.
Thank you.
I heard this song on the radio last night. And it came along in year 5, actually.
So you guys had been making records and stuff for a while. It's having a hit record in the Jimmy. Let's say hi to Jimmie Fadden sitting there in the background with his playing his drums with his purple headband. Same question. How did your entrance into the band happen? How did you become a member of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band?
Well, actually, Jeff had a little dispute with his brother Dave, who was the harmonica player at the time, and kicked the poor guy out and told me to show up, and so...
So you replaced his brother.
Yeah, well, that was actually before we had really played anywhere, so we were in the practicing stage.
We were still in the garage at that point.
Yeah.
So before you started, you fired your brother?
I didn't fire him. He quit, actually. Fire your brother? Oh, well.
He just asked...
Yeah, we fired my brother. Hey.
John,
he gave us a lot of good advice back then. He told all of us, if the banjo was any good, the Beatles would have used it.
Now let's make this clear. John McEuen's brother Bill managed Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yeah, he's my older brother. He's about 6 months older than I am.
Well, good trick. I'd love to meet your mom and dad on that one.
They got that pretty fast here in Kentucky, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, Uncle Grandpa's sitting out there in the audience. He understood that. Let's get back into your music. You've got
You've got a brand new record called Speed of Life. This is a song called Resurrection. It's the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
I walked the streets of this little town late last night when it all shut down, feeling stuck between lost and found and nowhere. Using my memory for a map, I went looking for a train on the torn up track where the weary conductor just turned his back, but he's still there, waiting for the resurrection. Fire from the ashes and the tears, the resurrection. You know dreams die hard around here. Well, it's hard to believe I'm back again, looking up old lovers and long lost friends, just to reminisce like the veterans and survivors. I heard a reverend deal with a kind old face say he got a little stale and it's been replaced. Still we all bowed our heads when he said grace at the diner, waiting for the resurrection. Fire from the ashes and the tears, the resurrection. You know dreams die hard around here. Well, the engine dies and the main line fails, but surely the heart and the soul prevails, like the wildflowers grow between the rails in the summer. Oh, the resurrection. Fire from the ashes and the tears, the resurrection. You know dreams die hard. Dreams die hard. Dreams die hard around here. Round here. Dreams die hard around here. Oh, the resurrection. The streets of this little town late last night when it all shut down. When it all shut down.
The song is Resurrection. The brand new record is Speed of Life. Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Jimmie Fadden on drums and harmonica, John McEuen playing the lap steel, Jeff Hanna on his Gibson guitar, and this guy, Bob Carpenter, playing the keyboards. Bob, how are you doing?
Good evening.
You're sort of the rookie of the band.
Yeah, I'm the brand new guy.
You're the new guy. You've only been around for how long?
Well, on and off since in the middle 70s. I was living up in Colorado. I don't mean
It's hard to refer to you as a rookie,
70,
isn't it?
I mean since 1970. I was living up in Colorado playing with a band, and we were living in the same town with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and Bill McEuen, who was managing the band, started managing our band. And he came up to me one day and said, the guys are going in the studio. Would you like to play some keyboards on a couple things? And that's how it all started.
Now, you are doing something for our radio audience. I mean, I want them to know that you're sitting in front of a bank of 3 keyboards, and you're playing bass for the band while you're playing keyboards.
That's true.
So
that's true. Through the magic of technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mentally, I would think that'd be a pretty complicated thing to learn.
Well, it was sort of by necessity because I only have a couple hands and I can't actually play a real bass on the keyboards at the same time. So we sort of settled on this.
Well, let's have a sample of Bob Carpenter by himself there on the piano. Let's hear what this sounds like. Beautiful. Bob Carpenter on the piano. So, Jeff, let me go back to Jeff Hanna here. Now, a major milestone in music, aside from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's albums and the hit records and stuff, Fishing in the Dark, which is my favorite song that you guys have ever done, and Mr. Bojangles and so many others. Will the Circle Be Unbroken, a major classic groundbreaker in country music? I mean, tell us how that album happened.
Well, that album really, we had this song, Mr. Bojangles, that was a hit on the radio. And when that song was out and we were touring behind it, we met a guy named Earl Scruggs.
Some guy. Yeah.
Some guy.
5-stringer.
Earl's whole family came to see us play at Vanderbilt University in Nashville. And we began a friendship that still goes on today. We started talking to Earl about doing some recording together. And then this bigger idea presented itself. The way I remember it, John's brother Bill called us all up and said, how would you guys feel about you get together with all your heroes and make a record? Mm-hmm. Guys like Doc Watson or Merle Travis. And we thought, what could be wrong with that? But how are we going to do that? Right. So I'll let John pick up the story here.
What actually took place is after Doc Watson... Well, Earl said he'd play along. Jeff and I were taking him back to the hotel one night. 2 weeks later, Doc was at the same club. And I had a little more nerve then. It's like I went up to him and said, Doc, we're making an album with Earl Scruggs. We weren't making anything yet. But he said, well, if Earl's going to be there, I'll be there. And as those people came along, without Louise Scruggs and Earl and their credibility that they gave this bunch of hippies from California, Louise lined up Maybelle Carter, and Earl found... I asked him if you found the fiddle players that can handle all the songs, because there's a lot of styles. He goes, I found one man. I said, one guy? What's his name? He said, Vassar Clements.
Vassar Clements. Our hero.
Now, Earl doesn't use a lot of words to get his point across. I said, well, can he handle it all? And he said, he'll do.
Well, Volume 1 was so successful, it turned into Volume 2 and Volume 3, and it's probably one of the most successful series of albums in modern music, and it's all stamped with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's name. But you guys have a brand new album, and it is a wonderful collection of work. It's called Speed of Life. This is a song called Going Up the Country. It's the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
Speed of Life is the name of the new CD. Going Up the Country is the name of the song. And I'm trying to punch off the music back there, Kevin, because we've got a whole nother half an hour to go. We are going to talk about Mr. Bojangles. We're going to talk more about the career of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, this Grammy Award-winning, pioneering band in the world of alternative country and roots music. They've won Grammy Awards. They're one of the most respected groups in modern music, and we're so glad that they're here for the entire half hour. We got another half an hour to go, and we'll be back right after this.
Hi, this is Tony Trischka, and you're listening to Michael Jonathan and the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
Here's a fine banjo picker, Tony Trischka, friend of Bela, friend of John McEuen.
I just like playing the banjo. I mean, there's a nice crowd here, and usually the words banjo and crowd don't go together.
Well, you've become an expert at playing the instrument that the Beatles rejected, and you had a friend of yours in high school that used to hang out with, used to do homework together and stuff, and you both sort of had parallel interests in the banjo, but separate careers.
I'll never forget the night at my parents' house when Steve and I were watching a friend of my brother's play the banjo. He knew like 3 songs, and Steve Martin said to him, "Well, how much is a good, used, cheap banjo anyway?"
Of course,
he
we're
plays
talking
that banjo today.
Yeah,
the
very well.
banjo.
Actor and comedian. You see him a movie star, Steve Martin, boyhood friend of John McEuen. Steve has a new record out called The Crow that you are the producer of his banjo album.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun. It's a nice record. You ought to check it out. It's called The Crow. It's got all of Steve's music. It's all original songs. As he says, he figured if he played the banjo for 40 years, after 40 years, he could say, well, I played the banjo for 40 years. I've got some songs, and I've recorded them. I mean, we recorded them. And the relationship goes on quite a ways. The Dirt Band used to do stuff when Steve would open for us. Like, we'd do, The Girl with Emphysema and things like that. He'd take those songs.
Well, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, you guys were his support band when he did his big hit record King Tut. So it was the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band with Steve Martin. So it's nice to have friends.
That was a great night when he came to the place we were playing, the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in L.A., and laid out this song. And we went out that night and did it on stage for the first time. And I think one of the coolest things about it is the last line in the song is, "Got a condo made of Stona." And that was his idea right there.
Jeff Hanna. Good for you, Jeff. Where's the royalty check, right? Well, it must be. It must be quite a bit of a scheduling dance to split your time between your own solo career and things like Steve Martin, and then very heavily into working the new release with the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. So you must have one heck of a calendar.
This is what I wanted to do when I was 17. Get out of town. So I get out of town a lot.
And you managed it. Well, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band has a brand new record. It's a wonderful collection of songs played very, very well, and I have to compliment the sound of the drum kit. Jimmie's drums sound absolutely wonderful on this record. One of the best recorded drumming tracks I've heard on CD for a long time. So for that reason alone, you should get yourself a copy of this thing. It's called The Speed of Life, and this is the title cut. It's the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
Time can fly when you're having fun. Time drags by when you miss someone. We say hello and we say goodbye, coming and going at the speed of light. You start out crawling, then you learn to walk. You run into someone and then you fall. The band plays on as worlds collide. Drums keep beating at the speed of life. ride with me. 4 strong winds, 7 deep seas, a big blue ball flying through space. Can't turn back, not a minute to waste. Home to the tune, blink of an eye. Everything's moving at the speed of light. Well, I don't know what the future holds, but I've been watching the river flow. It can sink high, it can rise fast, always rolling at the speed of light. Come on, baby, ride with me. 4 strong winds, 7 deep seas, big blue ball flying through space. Can't turn back, not a minute to waste. Home to the tune, blink of an eye. Everything's moving at the speed of light. Hey, look, Father Time. Everything's moving at the speed of light.
Title cut of their brand new CD, Speed of Life, available on Sugar Hill Records all over the world. So let's talk to Jeff Hanna again. I mean, this is your first CD in like 5 years. You guys waited a while before putting something new out.
Yeah, we did wait a while. I can hear you, John. We got this offer, we call it an offer, to go in the studio with George Massenburg, who is one of the greatest recording engineers that ever lived, and a great record producer too. And our friend John Randall Stewart, also in a co-producer.
Great songwriter, yeah.
Yeah, and we thought, well, shoot, we should make a record. These guys don't come knocking every day. You know?
So after 5 years, how do you go about, what is the process of a band like yourselves? I mean, selecting the songs to be on a new record after waiting for that amount of time. I mean, you must have just had this gargantuan amount of ideas for a record.
We had lots of songs, but what happened was we picked a couple right off the bat. This a song called "Tulsa Sounds Like Trouble to Me,"
and which is your opening cut, which is a really good song.
Yeah, and once we got into it, we had a vibe for the record, is the way we looked at it, and as we got further into it. I'm sorry, I don't talk in tune very
tuning
well,
is
Michael. Sorry.
It's a difficult process.
Yeah, I'm not a professional.
Still working on it, right?
I'll learn to do this one of these days.
That's all right. It's part of the gig. Yeah, I think the audience is really interested in seeing the little intricacies that it takes to be on a stage, trying to do your thing, talking at the same time. It's like adjusting and moving mics. Now, you yourself, I mean, you are a very successful songwriter. You've had a lot of successful co-writes that have been recorded by other artists, and so I mean, it must be an interesting process, the discussion in the band to decide what songs to do. I mean, Jimmie's a great songwriter. Bob is a good songwriter. John is a songwriter. Matter of fact, John's got this wonderful little short banjo piece on the record. Yeah, Jimmie. I said Jimmie's a songwriter.
Yeah, you mentioned that, Jimmy.
Jimmie's in the back with his little headband on.
Jimmie's a deaf songwriter, you know.
So, I mean, what is the process? What is the conversation like to go through all these passel of songs? You guys all have your own, plus you have friends that also write, and then you select these songs. How do you do it?
I got a friend that is in the bed next to me every night when I go to sleep. My wife, Matresa Berg, wrote that song, The Resurrection.
The one, yeah, which she's...
It's not simple. It's not easy. But the big goal for us, and we all really is. I will say this about our band: is we have a common goal when we put together an album. We want it to hang together. We want it to feel like we grew up as guys that bought LPs. We were fans of things like Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts.
For the audience, those are the round things with the little hole.
The round things, yeah.
Big round black thing with a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Do you miss the days when albums had like real artwork that you could read, and the creative process was part of the look of the album, not just the sound of it?
Absolutely, and at our age, it's hard to see those letters on those little tiny discs too.
We're working on it. Now, we're going to go into a song that's also on the new record, and Jimmie Martin has been an ever-present person in the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band's music, and some of the songs that you sang. You started the show off with a Jimmie Martin song. So why don't you tell everybody just very briefly who Jimmie Martin is and why he's so important to you guys?
Well, Jimmie Martin actually was the king of bluegrass. He passed away a couple years ago. One of the greatest bluegrass singers that ever lived was Jimmie Martin. Yeah, you can clap for that. And he also, he was a good friend of ours, and he appeared on all 3 of the Circle albums that we did. The first one, he just, my gosh, stole the show with Walking Shoes, and the Grand Ole Opry song, one of his tunes, opened the whole set. And a couple friends of ours, a guy named Phil Madeira and Jimmy Lee Sloas, brought this tune in, and we thought, well, you know, it's kind of weird. We knew the guy. Jimmy was a friend of ours. What's it going to be like? It better be good and fairly accurate, you know, and it's fairly accurate and really good. And it's sung from the standpoint of Jimmy himself, and I think he'd have been proud of it.
Well, here it is. It's fairly accurate and pretty good. His song's called Jimmie Martin. It's from the CD Speed of Life. It's the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
Well, they call me Jimmie Martin, and they say that I can't sing of them lonesome, broken-hearted boys of bluegrass. I'm the king. I was born up in the mountains. I was raised in poverty. Made a guitar out of nothing but a cigar box and string. Took a bus across to Nashville, and that's where I was employed, making guitar and singing tenor with Bill Monroe and his bluegrass boy. Yeah, they call Jimmie Martin, and they say that I can sing of them lonesome, broken-hearted boys of bluegrass. I'm the king. Come on, John. Back in 1959, with the Sunny Mountain Boys on that Louisiana hayride, you never heard such a wondrous noise. We tore it up at the gold, I pray. My walking shoes and free-born man. But the circle is still broken. My greatest dreams slipped through my hand. They call me Jimmie Martin, and they say that I can sing of them lonesome, broken-hearted boys of bluegrass. I'm the king of them lonesome, broken-hearted boys of bluegrass. I'm the king. Yeah.
It's on their brand new record called Speed of Life. Jimmy Martin is the name of the song, and got to give some props to Jimmie Fadden and Bob Carpenter singing really super nice harmonies there in the back. Jimmy's harmonica. So now we are towards the end of our hour. This has been such a fast hour, and Jeff, let's talk about this classic song that to hear John talk about it in the beginning of the hour. You were hanging out or driving in the car, and you heard this song on the radio, just playing. I guess was it Jerry Jeff's version?
Yeah, it was. Actually, we were working on this album called, that would become Uncle Charlie and His Dog Teddy was the name of the record.
Great. It's a great record. Classic album.
I'm kind of in tune. This is good. We tune because we care, you know. That's right. And we had a late rehearsal one night, and I was driving home, and I heard this song. I heard really just the last. I didn't hear the title because it was late night FM radio. They didn't say the name of the tracks or the name of the artist. So the next day I came into rehearsal, and I said, guys, I heard this song last night. It's really great, and it'd be cool. We could do it with accordion and mandolin. It would be really great. And it's about this old guy. What's it called? I don't know. It's about this old guy, and he had this dog, and you know.
So you heard Jerry Jeff had a very sparse version. His record was very sparse.
It was, and
you heard the whole arrangement in your head though for the band.
Well, you know, it applied to what we did, and the song had a great story to it. And we figured, by the way, that this song is going to be this beautiful album cut. You know, we thought we have the hits already picked out on this record. Of course, they weren't hits. But
so you thought this was filler?
No, we didn't think it was filler. No. We just didn't think the radio would ever play a 4-minute waltz about an old guy and a dog. You know, somehow that wasn't going to work along.
Well, weren't
Proud
you
Mary.
Surprised, right?
Yeah, we were surprised.
Well,
it was the most depressing day. We went to the record company. We played the album. We played all the songs, and this one could be a good radio. Here's a good radio. And we played, and here's the FM, late night song. And they went, that's going to be the first single. I remember Jeff and we all walked out and went, oh, it's over.
So why? Why didn't you think this was? Why didn't you think this was the one? I mean, you didn't hear it played back in the studio. I mean, you guys had a lot of punch and power in it. This was an up-tempo waltz.
Well, I don't know. Was it?
It was an up-tempo waltz.
I see the kids hit the dance floor every night when we play Mr. Bojangles.
Well, let's check it out. It's one of the biggest songs that is in the world of popular and classic music. It is a true classic. It's one of the greatest stories in modern music. It is the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band and Mr. Bojangles on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio.
I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you in worn-out shoes, silver hair and ragged shirt and baggy pants. He did the old soft shoe. He jumped so high, and then he lightly touched down. I met him in a cell in New Orleans. I was down and out, spoke right out. He talked of life. He talked of life. He laughed, clicked his heels and stepped. When he said his name, Bojangles, and he danced a lick across the cell. He grabbed his pants and spread his stance, whoa, it jumped so high. And then he clicked his heels. He let go a laugh. He let go a laugh. Shook back his clothes all around. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, won't you dance? He danced for those at minstrel shows and county fairs throughout the South. And he spoke the tears of 15 years, how was dogging him. They traveled about. Well, the dog up and died, up and died. After 20 years, he still grieves. He said a dance now at every chance in honky-tonk for drinks and tips. But most of the time I spend behind these county bars, 'cause our drinks a bit. He shook his head, and as he shook his head, I heard someone ask him, please, please, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, won't you dance? I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you. Thank you.
One of the most recognizable songs, one of the most recognizable voices on radio. Jeff Hanna, Bob Carpenter, Jimmie Fadden, John McEuen, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. Wasn't it great that they were here on our broadcast? After... You deserve it. That's right. After 5 decades in the music business, still making records, still searching for those songs, still playing music as though it was the first time that they were playing it. So it's the first time that the spirit of the music was even moving them. When you listen to the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, you are hearing the passion and the fusion of a musical friendship that has lasted a long, long time. Music is really a binding force for people, for communities, for families, for friends. Your own music is very important. Just like the music that has been the thread of the career of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, you have your own history, your own legacy happening right there on your own living room couch. The music and the voices of you and your children is just as important as any hit record, so don't forget, the music that you make in your home is just as classic as anything that you'll hear on the radio. My name is Michael Jonathan. I am a folk singer. I am a tree hugger, and we'll see you next week on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio. Good night.
You've been listening to WoodSongs broadcast number 551. Michael's opening song was Masters of War.
Our chief engineer is...
Thank you for tuning in. There are so many talented artists that appear on our stage. It's very hard sometimes to pick the ones that appear on our TV broadcast. So what we're going to do is leave you with a performance from our huge online archive of past shows. We'll see you next time on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour. On their record, it's on the new Unbound CD, and we're going to let them give the songwriter's presentation of that other song. It's called Fishin' in the Dark. It's the Refugees on the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour.
There's a yellow moon coming up tonight, shining through the trees. Crickets are jumping and the lightning bugs are floating on the breeze. Baby, get ready. Across the field where the creek turns back by the old stump road, take you to a special place that nobody knows. Baby, get ready. Ooh-wee. You and me going fishing in the dark, lying on our backs and counting the stars where the cool grass grows.
The television broadcast of the WoodSongs Old Time Radio Hour is made possible in part by Kentucky Proud and the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, supporting Kentucky-grown farm products used worldwide and in your hometown. Acoustic Rainbow, introducing songs from independent artists and small labels to over 1,200 acoustic format radio stations worldwide. Online at acousticrainbow.com. Support is also provided by viewers like you. Information on how to become a WoodSongs partner and support the growth of grassroots music is online at woodsongs.com. And by Insight Communications, providers of cable, high-definition television and broadband internet service.